If sexual experiences were like trading cards, what would be your rarest card? Sorry. My flawed social life doesn't allow me to collect those cards. Achievement get. Cost of entry. A police officer, literally broke the law. Achievement get. The ball's in blue. Put my foot through a wall while getting some extra leverage. Achievement get. Home improvement. Sex. Achievement get. Back to basics. Cock blocked by a dog puking up a tampon on the bed. Achievement get. Party foul. Gave my boyfriend his first to completion blowjob, and he came so hard it almost came out my nose. Achievement get. Allergy season. Driving down the highway in my old Chevy S10 with a 5 SPD manual and bench seat. Girlfriend at the time was wearing a skirt and horny as She gets on top and goes to town while I'm driving. Semi-truck honked as we drove past cause she waved at him. Achievement get. Coming in clutch. A shower sex orgasm so intense she literally fainted. Achievement get. Collateral damage. On a hammock and no one fell off. Jerking myself off through the walls of the vagina and ass. To be more specific, engaging in anal sex and having 2 fingers and a thumb inside the vagina, and I was able to grab myself as I was sliding in and out. It was crazy hot. Achievement get. Overclocking. Passing a state trooper while in a very compromising situation. Then the lights. Achievement get. High beams. Came back from a night of heavy drinking with the girlfriend. And apparently got busy. I don't remember the act. I just woke up to see 3 used condoms. And all the makeup she had been wearing was pressed into the wall. Achievement get. The numbers. Mason. The 5-sum. Me and my best friend A and M. Males, and 3 girls S and K and T. 1 girl was his girlfriend S. 1 turned into my girlfriend many months later K. And the 3rd was a mutual friend of ours T. We had a sex centipede going at one point. ASKTM. It was pretty mind-blowing, among other things. I found out afterwards that my best friend was extremely turned on watching his girlfriend do things with other people. Crazy times. First time anal and earning Red Wings simultaneously. Not proud of that card, and it's a high summon cost, but it tends to dominate the table. Achievement get. By any means necessary. 7 years of marriage without sex. Achievement get. I want a refund. Got a blowjob in the middle of a field. Turns out I was sitting on an ant hill. I started to get bitten, so I jumped up, which surprised the girl who bit my dick and made it bled. She had braces __. Achievement get. Black and Decker Pecker Wrecker. Threesome on a Ferris wheel. Achievement get. State fair. The double nut. Achievement get. Told her twice. Not the second coming. Sex underneath the Hollywood sign, after they put the fence up. Late to the party, but whatever. This just happened a month ago and I'm still in the afterglow. Threesome. Met a girl via Tinder. She brought her friend along for safety. All 3 of us got into the tequila. Girl decides that she feels safe and her friend agrees to drive us back to mine. So girl and I are in the back making out, and driving friend reaches back with her free hand and grabs my junk. Player 3 has entered the game. Faking an orgasm as a man. Achievement get. Method actor. Accidentally touching hands with a stranger. Achievement get. The hero awakens. Had sex with a 21-year-old and a 40-year-old woman less than 24 hours apart. Achievement get. Only a number. I f***ed a 40-year-old virgin. Don't recommend. Squirting my boyfriend's cream pie on his face. I call it the return to sender. Sex with a Zulu woman who wondered what it was like to f*** a white man, the beneficiary of someone's sex tourism. Same thing. Actually. Also in Africa. With a Muslim girl who was allowed to travel for a school college. I should emphasize trip, and figured it was the only chance she was going to get. Achievement get. Global perspective. I think my collection consists of a single card that I picked up in the rain, but it turned out to be a knockoff. Achievement get. Big ass anime titties. Finger bang 2 girls in a library. At the same time. Achievement get. Bookworms. I was part of a foursome and came so many times I was weak-kneed for hours. I got very oversensitive towards the end and sat back to just watch. 2 out of the 4 of us hadn't come yet, so after I tapped out, I became what I called the sex referee. Need a condom? I got you. Where's the lube? I found it. All done. I brought water for everyone. It was awesome. Achievement get. Everyone liked that. Gymnastic. Perks. Flexible. Can do complex things. 50-50 bet. Will introduce you to insane positions sometimes. If unprepared gives effect called confusion. Achievement get. Proper stretching. Asexual. Achievement get. Breaking the mold. Sex in grandma's bed. Achievement get. Stomping grounds. I got told by a hot older woman 39, me 29 at the time that I had the pleasure of dating for a bit, you eat pussy like a lesbian. I'm a man. And she was far more sexually adventurous than me. But I'd like to reconnect and try to get on her level. I also want that compliment recorded and notarized. It really meant a lot to me. Achievement get. Promoted. Putting my whole hand into my ex-girlfriend. Achievement get. Master of puppets. Just letting you know I chuckled at every single one of your comments here so far but lost it at this one. Girlfriend stopped having sex with me because we did it for so long once that she developed orgasm migraines. Before you crack the joke that headaches are supposed to happen beforehand or that she was faking it. B, you're supposed to fake the orgasm, not the crippling migraine. Edit. Heads to headaches. Achievement get. Take 2 orally. Middle of the night. Having sex with my girlfriend, then hearing my sister yell from the hall, the last thing I wanna hear is you two waking up the rest of my family. Achievement get. Change of plans. Tenno. It's for threads like this that I regret turning down the opportunity to sleep with a man from Greenland. Achievement get. Greener pastures. My release had exceptionally high pressure at the climax of my first handjob. It hit the wall more than 5 feet away. I'm pretty vanilla, so that's probably my only card that isn't from the starter deck. Achievement get. Your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. Getting a blowjob at work from an ex-escort that was able to take her teeth out. Achievement get. The skin of her teeth. Actually had sex with a step-sibling. Achievement get. The porno. Doing it at work. In a strip bar with my own husband posing as a customer. Trying to not get caught doing it during a lap dance. Expected to get fired. Achievement get. Work benefits. My boyfriend throwing up after eating me out. To be fair, it wasn't from any smell, just poor timing. Achievement get. Roll constitution at disadvantage. I'm not proud, but it was probably meeting a girl on Tinder who ended up having an ankle bracelet who snorted a line in my front seat before we moved to the back seat. I also, unfortunately, had to drive her to get the line about 15 miles away. I was a somewhat extreme version of young, dumb, and full of cum. Under a church. For those wondering, it was drainage tunnel for flash floods built under a Spanish mission dating to the late 1600s. Achievement get. Heroes. Erped for virtual currency in World of Warcraft. Basically an e-prostitute. Achievement get. Buying girlfriend. Got a BJ in the college yearbook office, overlooking the campus. Also booty called a girl who drove over 100 miles to come hook up. She drove home the same night. Achievement get. We deliver. I once fisted 2 people at once. I refer to it as my meat gloves experience. I wasn't even that into it sexually. Just kind of happened and I thought it'd make a funny story later on. Achievement get. Hulk smash. Having sex with a very brave taco. Achievement get. Support the developers. The boss's daughter. Receiving oral stimulation while she's taking a poop. It's an alternative card to the Blumpkin Lotus. Achievement get. Career limiting move. Was having sex while people were watching soccer in the other room. She came. I came. Their team scored. Everyone cheered. Achievement get. All-purpose vuvuzela. Sex in a bounce house. Sex in a dugout. Achievement get. Relief pitcher. I have accidentally turned down more sex because I didn't correctly read the signs than anyone I know. Achievement get. Recalculating. Making prolonged eye contact with a girl. Achievement get. Now you see me. Do experiences that happen in dreams count? Achievement get. Just like the simulations. I won't even have a deck. Achievement get. Gone digital. I fingered my ex so well she couldn't think straight. No idea how that happened, but it was a good hour of her not paying attention to what I was saying and occasionally saying she still felt aftershocks. Fun times. Achievement get. The pianist. A woman swallowing. Maybe a pinky in the booty. Achievement get. New horizons. I don't know how rare this card is, but I have participation in a unique fetish. A young woman once asked me to draw pictures on her naked back with permanent marker. I've never been much of an artist, but I gave it a try nonetheless. And about halfway through my first attempt, the girl started moaning and writhing beneath me in a way that seemed really exaggerated. Although I did my best to focus on my task, the motions of my partner made it rather difficult. Do you want me to keep doing this? I asked her. Yes, came the young woman's reply. Yes. Don't stop. Draw all over me. Again. The whole thing seemed more like a performance than it did an actual response to pleasure. And I started to get suspicious that I was being made the butt of some bizarre joke. Every line that I drew sent the girl into paroxysms of affected delight, until she finally moaned for me to put away the marker and get out my paint sprayer. The rest of the evening eventually went on about as you'd expect from such encounters. Despite a tiny voice in the back of my head asking what I'd missed about the whole situation, I finally got my answer when the girl asked to take a shower with me. It turned out that what she'd really wanted was for me to scrub her skin until it was practically raw. Suffice it to say that she hadn't needed to put on an act that time. We wound up having an informative discussion after I'd washed the remnants of my drawing off her, and it came to light that she'd always liked the feeling of being roughly bathed. When I asked why she hadn't simply requested that in the first place, she sheepishly admitted that having a fetish for emulating easels seemed less bizarre to her. To each their own, I guess. Achievement get. Rub it in. My girlfriend at the time surprised me by tying me up, gagging me and put a dildo in my butt. It was the best nut I've ever had. Achievement get. No you. Sex while scuba diving. Horrible sex. But definitely a rare shiny card. Achievement get. Part of your world. A few years ago, I dated a girl who was paralyzed from the waist down. She never had sex after her accident because she thought she wouldn't be able to feel anything down there. It turns out she just couldn't feel as far as her fingers could reach. After experimenting for a bit, we were able to have good old-fashioned vaginal sex. She spent a long time believing she'd never enjoy sex after her accident, so being able to help her experience that part of her life again is what I'm the most proud of. In my eyes, it's a limited edition.